That's the co-fire right there, firing us up. Says I'm burning like fire, and ain't nobody gonna quench my fire, right? Yeah. So today we're burning, but we're going to burn it right. Okay. We're giving you great information about food. Food is the biggest gift to your body, literally, if you ask me. Because I mean, where's your energy coming from, or stuff that you consume? I'm talking food, water, and everything that you consume. Very, 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 very instrumental to your growth, right? And so these are conversations that concerns you. It's not about women, it's not about men, it's about everybody getting together. And we have in studio Mr. Julius Evame Agbagba. He's a senior dietitian at the UGMC, that's the University of Ghana Medical Center. And today we're going to be talking about food labeling analysis, getting the facts right about food and all that. So when you see food or when you go to the supermarket, what are the things that you look out for? Right? Before you buy something, don't just because you have got money, you have gone to some big shop, you can buy any other thing that you find. You're gonna die, right? So yeah, that's it. Mr. Akwa, you are welcome.
Thank you very much.
Second time?
Yes, this is the second time.
Okay,
Yeah.
great. So welcome again.
Thank you.
Couple say welcome indeed.
Koku, the man of English.
I know, right?
Thanks for having me.
Yeah,
I'm
you're
happy
welcome.
to be here as well.
Well, yeah. First off, like I said, people just go to the supermarket, buy things, or go to the market and just, because, oh, I heard that this is nice, let's just buy it. But what should be in the mind of a consumer when they're going to purchase? I'm talking labeling now. What are the things that we should be looking out for, basically, before we purchase a product?
Okay, so the conversation has been going on about labeling, and it is important because you realize that our markets are changing.
Right.
Those days when you go into the market, you're either going to buy like the vegetables, the fruits, the tubers that they have displayed on the shelves or on the floor, and then all you are concerned about is the outer appearance. I mean, things that you can see with your eyes. But these days we have a lot more, supermarkets, foods that are processed, and immediately they are getting processed, they're adding other things that, and then they are required to put information on them to tell people that A, B, C, D is in this food. So when you walk into the supermarket and you're going to buy the food, one, you want to look at the name of the food, because if you are going to buy tomato paste and then you end up going to buy corned beef, that is not what you want. So you need to look at the name of the food. Then people buy by brand. So you may also want to check the brand. Then you want to check the ingredient list. What is in the food that is in the can or the pouch that you have seen on the shelf? What is in it? Because sometimes people have certain food restrictions that they don't want to go against.
Right.
Then there is the nutritional info, which tells you how much calories, how much proteins, how much carbohydrates, how much fat is in the food. And for a lot of people, this is important because they may be watching their weights, or they may be on a low or restricted salt diet or things like that. So when you go, these are the information that you want to check.
Yeah.
And it's also vital that if you have any form of allergy, you look out. Sometimes you can see it in the ingredient list, but other times it may be boldly written on it that this product contains, for example, gluten, or contains or contains milk or soy, because these are things that people are usually allergic to. So it is good that you look at that. And then the expiry date. Some of us, unless you taste the food and you realize that the taste is different, then you go and check the expiry
That's
date.
when it expires.
So it is essential that you look at the expiry date.
Right.
Make sure that it is in good condition. Yeah.
Okay, so I like the fact that you've pointed out these things, because we'll be looking at each of them one after the other.
Okay.
But I want you to literally teach us, because you see, when I go, I pick a product.
Okay.
Maybe it's a Ghanaian product. I'm certain in my mind that the information on some locally produced products would have some variations as compared to products that are imported, right? Some seem to have more information than the other. But how do we read these to understand? Because it's English, like you have said. And someone says, oh, okay, I read all of that and I still bought it, but it's a bad product, right? How do you read and understand? Let's start off with expiry dates.
Okay. So expiry date has to be visible. When you look at the recommendations from the Food and Drugs Authority, the expiry date has to be visible and to be something that the people can easily see. Sometimes you go and buy products and then the expiry date is like it is wiping off. Or sometimes you realize that it is at where they have sealed the product and you are not able to see it unless you look hard. Some people they do well. If it's on a can, they put it at the bottom or on top and it's easy to see. But most people, they just, and also maybe for some people too, it may not be from production. It is from storage. How they store the product, and you realize that the expiry date is wiping off, and sometimes the whole label is wiping off. And
so when you see a product like that, you shouldn't buy it?
You should be very careful about it.
How careful? Because if I finish buying it and I've used 50,000 to buy it and I get home and it's expired for real, that's my money going.
50,000 is a lot of money.
Yes.
So don't buy it.
So if you're not sure of the expiry date, people don't know the importance of these dates.
Yeah.
They feel like it's just a lot of numbers. BB, that's best before,
Yeah,
right?
best before.
So that's what I'm getting to. BB, what is BB? What is EXP? What is MFG? MFG.
Okay.
Right? So when you see these, what does it mean?
So let me start from the MFG.
Yeah.
MFG is usually the manufacturing date. Some people put manufacturing date on it, then they tell you that the product has a shelf life of 2 weeks. That means that it should be consumed within 2 weeks.
From the manufacturing date?
Manufacturing dates.
Okay.
Then sometimes you see use by. It means that by the date that is stated on it, you should use the product. Beyond that date, it is not safe to consume. Then you see expiry dates. Then expiry date also is the same thing. From the date that is stated on it, it is expired and it is considered unwholesome. Some people are even specific to add the time.
Yeah?
Yeah, they sometimes add the time.
As in by 12, 15?
Yes.
That's quite critical.
Yeah.
Wow.
Then the best before. Best before is more like, beyond the date that is stated on the product, we cannot guarantee that it will be in the same condition that it was when it left the factory. So taste could change, the color of the food can change, but the health risk may not affect you, but you may see something different from what you wish to purchase. So in cases like that, just to be sure, avoid them.
Avoid them.
Yeah.
How critical is manufacturing, best before and all that? I'm asking because you are from UGMC. Yeah. So, I'm very sure that you've had cases of food poisoning and all of that. I want you to educate us on why we literally need to pay attention to these things, right? We see the dates, we know it, but some people still go beyond it. Oh, taste it and see. Like you said, and some people say that when you see the date, 3 months after cry, you can still use it. You know, that's stuff like that. How critical is that to our health?
That's a very good question. People make their decisions sometimes based on their environment. So for some people's food environment, there's lack of accessibility. And then for some people, they make the decisions based on economy, their financial standing.
Yeah.
Because you would want to maximize your finances as much as possible.
Yeah.
When the product is even going bad, you don't feel like you have to let it go. You feel like it's a waste. But sometimes, if you are not careful, the health cost associated with consuming that food may be much more than the cost of the product. And also, if care is not taken, it may cost you your life. So if it would help, it's better that if the food has gone beyond the dates, you should just discard it. And some other people too, they purchase the food at a point where maybe it's approaching expiry, and then there's a discount. Then they go and buy a lot, and then they would want to consume it and enjoy. So by the time you realize, you may have issues. I mean, a lot of people have taken things that they didn't have issues, but there are cases where there are serious complications. Yeah.
Because I'm thinking that now the nutrients would probably have reduced.
The nutrients, not necessarily.
But then what would
then
be
the
effect?
safety of the food.
The safety of the food.
Yes.
So that means is it that mechanisms or other micro, all of that has been added to it or has been found in it? Okay. Like the mold, when you open it, you find that, okay. That's pretty great. So when you go to the market, you need to find, first off, we're talking about manufacturing, expiry, and then what's best before. And then
and use by.
And use by. Yeah, use by. I see. Well, and then I want us to get into nutritional value versus packaging hype. So some products you see is broken down. The values are broken. So there's sugar, there's there's fats. You see all of that written out. What should we be doing with that information?
Okay, so the information there is supposed to help you to know the quantity of the nutrients in the food.
Okay.
I mean, for us as dietitians, if we have the opportunity, we would want to have that tool because it's easier for us to calculate whatever somebody is eating.
Oh, okay.
So let's say you take a pack of food, then you'll see the table on it where they would write nutritional values or nutritional information. And on top of it, they usually put like the serving size.
Right.
Yes. So the serving size. So maybe for what we are seeing on the screen, it's saying that it has 3 servings per container.
Yes. And
then you have your calories, and the calorie is per serving.
Okay.
And then you have another column per container. There are certain nutritional information that you may not have the per container. You only have the per serving. So it means that if you take the 3 pretzels, when you take 3 pieces of the pretzels, which is like 28 grams, when you put it on the
scale?
weighing scale, it contains 0.5 grams of fat. And out of that 0.5 grams, 0 is unsaturated and 0 has trans fat.
Okay.
You get it?
Yeah.
But when you take the full container, you'll be taking a 1.5 grams of fat. And that is 3% of the daily recommended value. Okay. So that's the DV, the percentage DV. And usually the percentage DV is based on a 2,000 calorie diet because it's assumed that is the average everybody should be taking per day. A healthy person should be taking per day.
2,000 calorie.
Yes.
Right.
So that is an average.
I see.
Yeah.
I see. So this should be, would you advise this should be a basic requirement for all product? Because I noticed that some of these information come on some products like canned products.
Yes.
But then other ones that have different packaging, I don't know whether it's because of space or I don't know, but they just seem to be short of these things. Or it is certain products that actually need such nutritional facts and others don't. So
prepackaged products need to have nutritional information on them.
Okay.
Every prepackaged part. Sometimes there are lapses in regulation.
Right.
So probably the local person producing asana or producing something like not Sobolo, the one with the milk, Burkina.
Okay.
Burkina may just move from serving the Burkina by the roadside, probably in a rubber, and then decides that, oh, I can do for events, so let me move to bottling. Now you move to bottling, then probably you want to produce the Burkina for people to keep it longer. And you may be adding other things like preservatives and all those, and you are supposed to state it on the product that this is what you have to do. But a lot of people think that the nutrient analysis, because you need to go to CSIR to do like the nutrient analysis before you can be able to put them on it. So some people want to, bypass that, so they just put any information on it. They only put like maybe the name of the product and then the name of the producer. And I'm not so sure about the expiry date because I don't know who regulates that.
Right.
But CSIR usually and the FDA usually helps people to get that information and put on it. Some people sometimes they just assume and then put certain kinds of figures over there. But I think over the period, FDA has been clamping down on some of them. Yeah. Because in some countries, they are very critical about it. They, even beyond the nutrient analysis, they want you to put on the product whether it's too high in fats, whether it's too high in sodium, or whether what grade of the food it is. Because you go to the supermarkets and you see that some they write A, B, and they will color code it so that when you are going to buy, you know that this is a grade of food that I'm going to buy. And to be fair, the consumer has the right to that information. And, you know, this I've not seen so much in food, but I've seen with a lot of herbal preparations where maybe they have used something like pawpaw. Then they'll write in the ingredient carica papaya. Now, who understands carica papaya?
It has to look believable.
No, because the law says that the ingredient list should be in simple terms that the consumer can understand.
What?
Yeah, the consumer
Because
has
the
to
kinds of
understand
things
it.
we see on the products that we use, you would literally have to get to Google and find out each and every. Then you realize that it's even the spices that's in your kitchen that they put in it, but they write something paradise of Selimen, paradise of
And it's not supposed to be so.
Oh,
But
right.
unfortunately, that is the issue we are having. And sometimes you get to points where people have imported products that are in Spanish, that are in German, that are in even Chinese. And they are selling this on our market. So you go and you only think, oh, I'm buying corned beef. But as to exactly what is in the corned beef, you don't know because it's in a language that you don't understand.
It's frog beef.
And according to the guidelines, it is illegal.
Right.
So I think people should watch out for this and call out people who go against some of these regulations. Yeah.
Well, from the dietitian point of view, we've been seeing these things: low fat, natural, organic. Me, when I told you, when I see something organic, I take the other side because I don't know what organic is now. There seems to be some fake organic going around, right? And then no added sugar. What are the interpretations of these labeling? Right? Is this only for marketing? Well, how critical is that to your you being a dietitian?
Okay. So sometimes you see something like, let me start from the ones you mentioned.
Low fats.
So you see something like low fat. Low fat means that the amount of fat per the DV. You see the DV, I told you it's based on a 2,000 calorie diet. Per the DV is less than 3%.
Okay.
So usually went from 0 to 3%. You see, or sometimes in some countries 4 or 5% is low fat. But the moment it's beyond 15-20%, that is high fat.
That means that before the customer goes to buy these products, they should take time to find how much fat I need in my body.
So well, as dietitians, that's what we do. So if we consult you and then we realize your nutritional needs and preferences, then we are able to quantify the calorie for you and then distribute them. This is how much protein, this is how much carbohydrate, this is how much fat, this is how much salt, and then other nutrients that you need to take. And then when you see some of this information, then you can be able to, do the calculations yourself and see whether you are going overboard or you are within the recommended limits.
Okay. And then you see natural. They tell you this is natural. What should be the real interpretation of that?
Okay, so the real interpretation is that the contents of the food that you are going to purchase are from natural sources. Like if it is cassava, it is from cassava. it's not, there are no
Additives.
commercially, sometimes there are additives, sometimes there are additives that are from like natural sources.
Oh,
They are
right.
not synthetic, they are natural sources. But I think a lot of people just use these terms loosely.
Right.
They don't mean it.
Right.
Yeah.
So if it is a cassava product, it should, like, if it's coming, I mean, everything in there is from
Yeah.
cassava.
Cassava, yeah.
Then we can say it's natural.
Or it's mixed with something else that is also natural. But there are no artificials, like colorings, there are no artificial preservatives and things like that, yeah.
Oh, okay. Okay. We have to go back to the market. All those who have been chopping our money. We are coming with knowledge now. And then we see organic.
So organic simply refers to the production, the cultivation. So they don't use any synthetic pesticide. They can use probably like the natural manure. It's still organic. But the moment they introduce like the NPKs, the fertilizers that are synthetic, then it's no longer organic.
How would you wait? You're producing something. Maybe at the point of labeling, the product has gone through a full chain of production.
Yeah.
You probably might be bereft of some knowledge from manufacturing or production, and then you are only doing labeling, right? Who should tell you what that would put or give you enough information when you are labeling your product?
Okay, so when you look at the manufacturing chain, sometimes from cultivation to packaging, there are manufacturers that control the whole line. As in, they produce their own food and then they package it. Then there are some people who go to the farm, pick the products, come back and come and do the labeling. So if you are the one doing the labeling, you have to ensure that you know what goes on in the whole food chain or in the whole chain of production. Because when you look at something like Euro, for example, they have something they call the SPS, Sanitary Phytosanitary Protocol.
Okay.
Which states that if you are if you are like even a producer in, let's say, Italy, and you are picking tomatoes from Burkina Faso, and you are going to put organic on it, you would have to be sure that the organic that you are putting on the thing is not just something you are putting on. You have to go to the farm to make sure that the tomatoes are produced organically. But here in Ghana, I mean, some people are truthful, but then we also have to understand that depending on the preferences of the consumers, sometimes people try to maximize on the ignorance and also maximize on the lapses in the in our system and just do what they want to do. But on the real thing is that if it's not organic, you don't have to put organic on it.
I see people, I mean, we had issues at some point, even with school feeding, where they were talking about they bought in some rice, and according to sources, the rice were just repackaged and sent to the schools. In the minds of the headmasters and headmistresses, because they came in as new products, of which the communication was not given, there was a repackaged rice. We see that a lot on the market. They stored it as new product and used up the product that were already in the stores, thinking that by that time the lifespan of the old ones would have been, gone by. So then they needed to use those ones and then reserve this. Then they found out that the product that they reserved had rather gone bad, right? Tell me what should be the policy behind or the education behind repackaged products. So, on the part of the consumer, what are things that you should look out for to know that this package has been this product has been repackaged, so that you know how to align with that. What before you answer that, we've opened the phone lines. I know that this concerns you, and so please ask all your questions. Did you see a product on the market and you thought that that information is quite ambiguous? You can call in and ask, and let's get this thing right, because whatever goes into your body affects your body, right? So the lines are open. You can call in, and then let's have that conversation. Yes, back to that.
Okay, so there's something called food fraud. Food fraud.
Food fraud.
Yes. So when you have a product that is expiring, and you even put different dates on it, it is food fraud. When you import rice from Vietnam, and you decide to rebag it and not state that it is from Vietnam, and you rather state that it's from Apepe or Aveyime, just so that people can think that they are buying local rice, it's food fraud. So it is expected of the producer that when you have a product from somewhere that is even outside Ghana, you need to be clear on it that this is where the product is coming from. And that's what gives people the impression that it has been repackaged. You know, there are some rices on the market, like Abina rice, where even though the name is in, our local, it's a local name, you realize that they'll say from Vietnam. When you look at it, you will see that they've written on it that it's from Vietnam. But a lot of people don't do this. So sometimes that's when the FDA comes in. So in a case where probably rice was repackaged, people who had procured the food should be questioned. And they should do the investigation to find out at what point in time did they repackage, and which people who have done that should be held accountable, because sometimes I think it is heartless to procure something that is going bad for people that we think should become the future leaders of this country. Right. It's a heartless thing to do. So everybody that is involved should be questioned, and the appropriate sanctions be meted out to them, because it's not fair to do. If I am maybe cooking, or if I am in charge of school feeding, I would want to practice the basic FIFO, first in, first out, or prioritize the expiry dates. And I need to trust the person, my supplier, that he or she is being truthful. So if that happens, then it puts me in a difficult situation, because it will affect the decision I make, and it may have health implications. Yeah.
That's pretty serious. Because sometimes when I see a product, you see that, okay, the shelf life is this, but then you start to think, where is it coming from? How long did it take to get to the shores of Ghana? I don't even want us to get into the regulations and all of that, because that might not be your field. That would go for standard boards and then FDA. Yeah. Because I'm thinking that many products on the market came through, our borders with stealth, literally, right? Our borders are quite porous, and so some of these things just sort of find their way into the market. But we're still dealing with how to read these information on products that you purchase, so that you know what to do with it and how to even use it. Sometimes I see some ingredients and I'm like, hey, our people, what's up in this world?
Can I add something
to it,
food fraud? You know, there was a time where Exeter was like a very preferred brand of corned beef. This is just one example. So what some people did was that they got a cheaper brand. I think it was from Brazil. When you read the case, it was from Brazil. They got a cheaper brand from Brazil, imported into Ghana, and then got the Exeter labels, and then repackaged the whole thing.
Kill us today.
Mm-hmm. Do you get it?
Yeah.
So it became a big case in Ghana.
Picking a product and putting another company's label on it,
so that you can charge higher for it. Sometimes people do those things.
We have Esther from Ashaiman. Good morning, Esther.
Good morning, madam.
Great. Let's hear you.
Okay. Please, concerning what you are discussing, the food issue.
Yeah.
Please, recently I bought rice. I don't want to mention the brand.
Fantastic.
After preparing it, I realized that it was too hard. My husband from whom he was complaining of stomach pain. It looks like rubber. Like rubber. And in fact, I don't know who to report to for them to check those products.
Right.
I have some there, and I was thinking of how will I report to this thing.
Well, I would think that you would go back to your vendor and then report that. Then they can now, through the value chain, get to the manufacturer. But another thing too is that because of this bias, so the retail chain is pretty long. Well, sorry about that, my dear, but I think that then you'd have to take your husband to the hospital. We'll need to get a dietitian to check him out so that if there's any, hidden infections or something like that, they root that out, Sorry about that. And thank you also for calling.
Something?
Yes.
When that happens, it may not be necessarily the job of a dietitian to check him out. It's to be the job of a physician.
A physician?
Yes.
Great.
Because then they'll have to run some tests to find out whether there's some level of food poisoning. And they check for toxins to see whether there's a level of food poisoning. So when they're able to do that, then they refer. If we need to make any changes to the person's intake, then we do. What I'm looking for is the contacts of FDA.
Yeah, so that we can just put it out there. Please help me with the contact of FDA producer so that we can put it out there. So these people, when you buy products that you feel like, no, this product is not what they promise. Sometimes you buy a tin of milk, the date is okay, you open it and then the color is different. You need to get these. Another thing I realized, I think this morning we're talking about, let's take a product like tomatoes, right? Mm-hmm. There are certain products that even though it's an okay, thank you very much. Let me get that right. So this is information for you, nutrition, on how to report a problem with a food label in Ghana. So this is what you can report: misleading or unclear food labels to the Food and Drugs Authority, that's FDA Ghana. This includes missing expiry dates. So when you get products and you see that, no, the expiry date is not there, and then ingredients, false health claims, or labels not in English. Hey, FDA has a big job. Because if you go to the market, the number of things that are not in English, there's a number you have to call: 030-22-535-100. Let me take it again: 030-22-35-100. Or you can also get on their Facebook page, official GAND, right?
That's our Facebook.
Okay, we have Gideon from Pokwase on the line. Good morning, Gideon.
Yeah, good morning.
Yeah, great. Let's hear you.
Yeah, concerning your discussion, I am going to, regarding the tasty tongue issue, I think I have gone to where I shop at, but I have seen that blue thing about 2 to 3 times. One time, I took one at...
Oh, no. We lost him right there. Anyway. Please call back and then let's see how that goes. But I think he was trying to talk about a product that he keeps buying, but there's something. So this is it. I'm really interested in this. It says that if you find a product that includes, if you find some anomalies with the product, okay, that's missing expiry dates, ingredients, false health claims, and then labels that are not in English, that's the number to call: 030-2235-100. Yeah, there it is on the screen. So you can get to FDA and find that out real quick, because your health really, really matters. We have Kofi from Tantra Hill. Good morning, Kofi.
Good morning.
How's Tantra Hill?
It's cool.
Fantastic. Let's hear you, Kofi.
So the other day, right, I went to buy KK and 1,000. But believe me, when I put on the fish, it didn't reach up to 1,000.
We had only like 250 people. So I think the FDA should check on those people. So that's movement.
I get that, Kofi.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. But that actually, he raises a very, very, very big thing. Where we have local products without labeling.
Yeah.
What do? There's Kenke, there's 1,000, which probably might not amount to the 1,000. But then, I mean, there's Trophy, all of that. These are, sometimes these products, they sell them, even if, so that means that if they are not done selling, they would have to go back, maybe reheat it, refry it in the morning and bring it back on the street. What do we do as consumers for such things?
That's a difficult one. And the truth is, I don't know. I really don't know what to do, what we should do, because sometimes you look at the extent to which people go to get their products on the streets, and it's scary.
Right.
And you don't even know whether you should purchase from them. I mean, some people are being diligent. They are doing their food safety, but there are people that do otherwise. And for some people, as I mentioned, it's just to maximize profit. I know that before you be a food vendor in Ghana, you will need to have certain health certificates. And then you need to be registered with the assembly.
Right.
And by extension, the FDA. But sometimes people go ahead to register all right. They come and inspect their food production, environments, and all those things. But maybe there's no follow-up. So sometimes you see somebody preparing wache, and when you go to where the person is preparing the wache, the environment is just not nice. And you see somebody preparing kinky, and because they want the kinky to have some form of texture, they'll add cassava dough, or they'll add other flours.
Right.
And you know the issue of palm oil, where people were adding dye to it. And I think recently there was even a video where one woman was putting some fish in a dye just to get red fish.
Make it red fish.
And I don't know, sincerely, if people cannot be truthful, I don't know what we can do against that. Maybe we'll have to have our personal ocean, have our own farm, and I mean produce what we eat.
Aquarium.
It's a lot of. I mean, it's a lot of work. But
yeah,
that is maybe where we should start focusing. And if we want to do this, the same people who want to maximize profits will be put out of business. And for some people, that is their way of living. So why do we do that to ourselves? So maybe on our part, we just have to buy foods from places that we trust. And on the part of the assembly and the part of the FDA, they should increase monitoring so that even if you have given the person the health certificates, you should still follow up to make sure that they are producing foods according to the standards that they are supposed to produce them.
Well, I think that we should would need to have an FDA officer here, so that we can, we give a full package. Even in the Bible, we are demanded to give the full course of the gospel. Yeah, you have to the full counsel of the gospel. So I think that would help, because so that we can fully appreciate what the laws are, what the health implications are, what we should do as consumers, and what can also be done for us from the point of the dietitian, so that we fully understand what it is, because food is food. If you see, like you said, where the wache is prepared, I'm even sad that you mentioned wache. You have mentioned something else, but that's okay. I'll still manage my wache for lunch today. It's just really, really crazy. But thank you so much for joining us. We're pressed with time. I see John Chikata on Facebook says, "Glory, hallelujah, amen and amen." And Roberts and son Anthony Shine Guble says, "Good morning, following live from Liberia." Good morning. There's a word in Liberia. Okay, bokeh means bucket. in Liberia. Yeah, we hope you're doing well. Keep watching Dominion TV. And on our YouTube, Sarah Ame Patterson says, "Good morning, Sarah. May May your week flow with joy, peace, and moments that make your heart smile. Have a lovely Monday, Koku and Precious Biadala Ade. Thank you so much for that message. You know how we do it is My Dominion TV on all socials. Like, share, and drop comments. If you feel like, okay, you're trying to call and then you couldn't get through, send your questions even on our socials, and we'll be sure to read it. Mr. Agbagba from UGMC, God bless you so much for coming through. It's not the other Agbagba. This one is Julius Evame Agbagba. He's a senior dietitian at the University of Ghana Medical Center. Well, this is where we draw the curtains for today. He says to find... what? Yes. Okay.
So I just wanted, our listeners to know that regardless of what is written on the label, regardless of the expiry date, when you see something wrong with the food that you are buying, please don't buy it. Let's say for canned products, if there is a hole, or if it's like the puncture, or like or bloated, if it's a sachet, just be careful not to buy it. And when you even open it, take time to look at the product that is in the package, because sometimes expiry date may be okay, but there will be molds on the food that you buy, or insects or worms or something like that. Especially those who eat in the dark.
Oh.
Yeah, they should be very careful.
Who eats in the dark?
Oh,
people eat in the dark?
You have no idea.
They don't want the others to see what is going inside, the quantity of food that's going inside. And then there's a guy here who eats in the Solo, good morning to you. Who eats in the dark. But I also wonder, this convo is not ended, because I'm thinking, what will happen to egg? The farm, what goes through that process? Because sometimes when you buy some eggs, there are certain things that you find in it. What are some of the quality measures that you have to, quality assurance that we have to do to get our food right? It is important because it is food, right? Tell me you will not eat today, and because you are fasting, even that you still break, because you won't fast the rest of your life. Well, that's it. We draw the curtains for today. My name is Precious Biadala, and this has been Wake Up Africa right here on Dominion TV. We're going to go, and then we'll come back tomorrow in Koku's voice to do it all over again. We'll see you tomorrow.